Hey everyone, Nick here with my week 5 responses to your videos. Thank you so much for your insights and the perspectives that you brought to the table. It was great to see how there were, again, as with many of our readings, overlap and similarities to some of what we have picked up, but also some differences that we could identify. And so I think Ryan noted in his video that we might be able to hear his son in the background. You might hear some construction going on in the background of my video. We've got some neighbors who are doing some work, and believe it or not, this is the quietest place for me to do this today. So I apologize for any ambient noise. But getting to some of your comments, Eve, I want to start with you. You drew out this notion that there are days that we should be together, but also days that we ought to be alone. I think it's so powerful to remember that, yes, it's good to be in community, but in my opinion, community can look real different from one environment to the next. You know, community doesn't have to be a room full of 100 people who are all talking and having a conversation. Community can be found in a pair, or a trio, or small groups of 5, 6, or 7. Size or quantity maybe is a better way to describe that. Quantity does not define community. It's the quality of what's being done there. And so, yeah, it's just striking that balance. How do we find time to be alone, but also be with one another? And Chris, you drew upon this a bit as well, that there's value to spend time in silence. I agree. You shared that the world seems to be made for extroverts, and culture seems to tell us that, you know, we have to be busy doing things all the time with this group or that activity. And while those can be beneficial and helpful, it's great to spend time in solitude, in quiet, whether it's in prayer or study or just reading. Maybe that quiet even involves just watching a movie. You know, whatever it looks like, we need our time to center, and our minds need that time as well. And you talked about the power of Bonhoeffer and his being obedient to his conscience, even to the point of death. He lived the life that he wrote about, you shared. And I think that's a great observation. So often I think we have people, and I see this maybe in more social media, people are writing about this or giving their perspectives or insights about something else, but then the life that they live might not be in alignment, right? You know, they're talking about the importance of A, B, and C, but they're over here doing X, Y, and Z. But Dietrich Bonhoeffer was living the life that he wrote about. He was obedient to his faith and his conscience, even to the point of death. And it's so telling that he could have remained in America where he would be safe. His friends and family certainly encouraged that. But, and you drew this out as well, he talked about how he could not legitimately participate in the reconstruction of faith communities in Germany if he did not go through the trials of his people. And it's just a matter, I mean, it's all about, you know, walking the walk and talking the talk, right? He wasn't about to sit back where he was safe and others were being challenged, and then when the coast was clear, swoop in and start to help. He was going to be in it from the very beginning. And so just a wonderful exposure to someone who literally is doing what they say they are going to do. Let's see, Ryan, I love the question that you asked. Do we value community differently post-pandemic? You know, a lot of the comments that were made involved community, fellowship, but in the wake of COVID, do we value community the same way? I know in my context, you know, the churches that I lead, there were some folks who were just, you know, going out of their mind, not being in community with one another. There were others who loved it, right? But now that we're past the pandemic, I had some folks in my churches who were very regular attenders, but they're less recurrent now. Now, part of that is that they do watch our service through live stream, so we have that benefit of technology. But the technology was there before COVID as well. And so their perspective on community looks different than other families in the church who couldn't get in the doors fast enough when we opened them back up. So just very interesting comments, and I appreciate everything that you all shared. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, I think, is someone, and I think I've mispronounced his name 3 different times here, so I apologize, but he's a great person, I think, for us to be aware of and to really understand. Final comment I'll make is I have read another book on him. The author was Eric Metaxas. The title is Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy. It was a very good book. It was my first introduction to Bonhoeffer. Now, there's been some critical remarks that maybe the author Metaxas, his history might have been okay, but his understanding of Bonhoeffer's theology might be amiss. So I just throw that out there. But it's not a bad book to read if you're looking for some more historical information on Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So thank you so much again, everybody, as we enter into this last week of the term. Stay strong, finish well, and we'll see you the next time.